Olivia Hart had to get across Chicago fast. She only had 17 minutes before the florist closed. She was stuck in traffic, and it was not moving. It had been 8 minutes. She was getting worried. Then her phone started ringing. It was buried in her big bag. She had to dig through a lot of stuff to find it. There were receipts and lipstick and a granola bar that she had eaten half of. She also found some papers that told her about events that were happening. After a while, she finally found her phone. Olivia Hart was relieved that she found her phone. She was still stuck in traffic and the florist was going to close soon. Olivia Hart was getting really anxious because she had to get to the florist before it closed. Olivia Hart speaking, she said, out of breath. She was holding the phone between her shoulder and ear. At the time she was looking at her GPS to find other ways to go. Olivia Hart needed to find a route. Miss Hart, the ice sculptures for the Morrison Gala are melting on the way to the event. What do you want us to do with the ice sculptures for the Morrison Gala now? Olivia closed her eyes, counted to 3. This was Tuesday and the week was already really tough for Olivia. The week had tested every bit of Olivia's patience. It was only Tuesday. Reroute them to the backup refrigeration unit at the convention center. I will call ahead. Authorize access to the backup refrigeration unit. Please tell me that the champagne fountain arrived at the convention center intact. About that? 20 minutes later, Olivia finally got to her apartment in Lincoln Park. It was small. She really liked it. She took off her shoes. Fell onto the old sofa she had bought from someone else. Then her roommate and best friend Cassidy Wong came out of the kitchen with 2 glasses of wine. Olivia was happy to see Cassidy Wong with the wine. Cassidy asked her if she was having a day, and then she handed her a glass. The ice swans turned into water. The champagne fountain got a hole in it. Spilled all over the floor where people were walking, and I think I saw my boss get really upset when I said we had to get big fans to dry the floor. Olivia drank a gulp of her wine. We were able to fix everything. The party is still going to happen on Friday night at the gala. My girl is really something. She can plan a wedding when there is a big storm like a hurricane, and she will make it look like it was easy to do. My girl can do things like that. She always does a great job with weddings. Olivia laughed. She would not say it was easy. It was crazy and stressful, and sometimes really amazing. It was never easy. Still, Olivia loved her job. There was something about taking someone's idea and making it real, about making moments that people would remember for a long time. Olivia loved making people happy, with her work taking Olivia's client's vision and bringing it to life. Her phone buzzed again. Olivia let out a big sigh. If that is another problem, I am turning off my phone. Moving to a remote island where the phone will not bother me? Olivia really does not want to deal with another crisis from her phone. This was not a problem. The doorman of her building came to tell her that a courier had brought a letter and she needed to sign for it. The letter needed her signature, so the doorman let her know that a courier had delivered the letter to her building. A letter? Who actually sends letters these days? Olivia picked up her keys. Went downstairs wearing her socks. The envelope felt heavy in Olivia's hands. It was cream-colored. It had a big wax seal on it. Olivia looked at the envelope like it had something important inside. Maybe something that would change her life. Like a letter from a fancy school or a special party invitation. The envelope had Olivia's name written on it in nice writing, the kind you see in old books or on fancy cards. Cassidy was back in her apartment. She looked over her shoulder at Olivia. Olivia was being very careful as she broke the seal on the thing that Cassidy and Olivia were looking at. Cassidy and Olivia were waiting to see what was inside. Olivia slowly broke the seal. This situation is either really romantic or really scary. Like something a serial killer would do, Cassidy said. Olivia opened the letter. She looked at it. The things that were written on the letter made her eyes get really big. Olivia was surprised when she read the letter. Dear Miss Hart, I hope you are doing well. I think it would be really great if you could have dinner with me this Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. I already made a reservation at Alinea. I will also make sure someone picks you up at 6:30. If you are free this Saturday, please let me know as soon as you can. I would love to have dinner with you at Alinea this Saturday. With respect, Julian Blackwood. There was silence in the apartment for 3 seconds. Then Olivia burst out laughing. The silence was really quiet before Olivia started laughing. Olivia just could not help it. She kept on laughing. What is going on? Cassidy took the letter from the person. She read it. She looked at each line. Her eyes got really big. Oh my God, the person who wrote this letter talks funny. Does the person who wrote this letter not know how people talk nowadays? The way the person who wrote this letter talks is like people talked a time ago. Olivia could not stop laughing. She laughed until tears came down her face. Her stomach started to hurt from laughing much. Olivia had to sit down because she felt like she was going to fall over from laughing at the thing. That made her laugh, the thing that was so funny. To Olivia. She laughed hard and said, "He wrote that he is okay with whatever schedule you want." Then she said, "Who uses the word okay with whatever schedule you want? That is just so funny." She was laughing. At the same time, she felt this warm feeling in her chest. The Children's Hospital fundraiser she had worked on 3 weeks ago came to her mind. That was where she met Julian Blackwood. He was one of the people who gave a lot of money. Julian Blackwood was a judge, and he had written a really big check. This check made her boss extremely happy. He was also really handsome in a scary kind of way. The man was tall, had big shoulders. His dark hair was getting a gray near his temples, and his blue eyes were so strong that they made her forget what she was called when he told her his name. The man was nice and serious. He talked about her work in a serious way, like he was saying something very important in a court of law. The man's blue eyes were really something. He was a man with dark hair and those blue eyes that she could not forget. Cassidy said, "You are not really thinking about this, are you?" She was smiling, so it seemed like she already knew what the answer was going to be. "I am talking about Alinea." Alinea is a famous restaurant. It has 3 Michelin stars. People have to wait for months to get a table at Alinea. You are going to get the food? Olivia read the letter again, running her finger over the handwriting. The formal way it was written was really sweet. It showed that Julian Blackwood had put a lot of thought into it. Nowadays, people usually just send text or make plans at the last minute. Julian Blackwood had taken the time to write a letter by hand. Olivia liked that about the letter from Julian Blackwood. Olivia said that she is going because she is curious. The man seemed like a person to her. He is a person, and he is very formal, but there is something about the man that she likes. Olivia thinks that the man is worth getting to know. You mean besides the fact that he looks like he just came from a photo shoot for a perfume ad? Olivia threw a pillow at her friend. She said, "I am allowed to think that he is a looking guy." Olivia, that man is really looking. He could read the phone book. Make it sound nice. I mean, have you seen his eyes? His jaw is so strong. The way he walks into a room, it is like he owns the place. He has a lot of confidence, that man. Olivia, I am telling you, that man is very handsome. I understand now. I really do. The message is clear. I get it. That night, Olivia sat at her desk and pulled out her favorite stationery. It was cream-colored with tiny flowers pressed into the paper. She thought that if Julian was going to be formal, then she could be formal too. She would match the energy of Julian. Olivia wanted her stationery to be nice because she was writing to Julian. "Dear Judge Blackwood," she started to write. Then she stopped. It sounded too formal, so she screwed up the paper. Began all over again with her letter to Judge Blackwood. "Dear Julian, I really liked the way you asked me to dinner on Saturday. Your invitation was very nice. It made me smile. I am happy to come and have dinner with you. I have to say, the way you wrote your letter was pretty funny. I mean that in a way. I am looking forward to meeting you in person and seeing if you are as nice as your letter. I think it will be great to meet the person who wrote such an invitation. Warmly, Olivia." She put it in an envelope, wrote the address of the courthouse where he worked. She also drew a smiley face in the corner. She did this before she changed her mind. The courthouse was where he worked, and she wanted to make sure he got it. She sealed the envelope. It was done. Saturday couldn't come fast enough. On Saturday, the sun came out in Chicago. This was a surprise because it is usually gray there. Olivia tried on a lot of clothes. She put on 4 outfits before she picked the one she liked. She chose a burgundy dress. The dress was fancy, but not too fancy. She wore it with some shoes and a little gold jewelry. Olivia also wore her grandmother's watch. She liked to wear this watch because it always seemed to bring her luck. At 6:30, her doorbell rang. Cassidy, who had said she wanted to stay and see her off, almost ran to the intercom. The lady said to Cinderella, "Your carriage is waiting for you." She said it in an exciting way. "Your carriage is really waiting for you, Cinderella." Olivia picked up her clutch, checked herself in the mirror one more time. Then she went downstairs. There was a nice black car waiting for her by the curb. The driver was very polite. He opened the door for Olivia. He even nodded at her. The drive to Alenia was really weird. Olivia saw the city lights go by in a blur. Her heart was beating fast. What would they talk about at Alenia? Would everything be formal the time at Alenia? Olivia was worried that he would be disappointed when he found out that she was an ordinary event coordinator. Sometimes she had cereal for dinner. She only had 3 dresses. Olivia was not sure what to expect at Alenia. Julian was standing outside the restaurant. Olivia's breath caught when she saw Julian. He had on a nice charcoal suit that fit him perfectly. What really got Olivia's attention was how nervous Julian seemed. This federal judge, who was usually so intimidating, was actually really nervous. Julian looked like he was not feeling like himself all. "Miss Hart," he said to start with, then he stopped himself. "Olivia," he said, "instead you look really beautiful. I want to thank you. I would like you to call me Liv. That is what my friends call me." Something flickered in his eyes. It was pleasure, maybe because he was happy to be part of that group. Inside the restaurant, it was really something. The place looked very simple, but very fancy. It felt like a place where only certain people get to go. They walked over to a table by the window. When they sat down, Julian cleared his throat. The restaurant was a work of art, with a minimalist and elegant style that made you feel like you were somewhere exclusive, like the restaurant itself was, whispering that you were part of a group, and that is what made the restaurant so nice. "I should say sorry for the letter," he started. "The letter was really formal. My assistant told me that. My assistant said it was too formal," he said. He was talking about the letter. Olivia smiled as she thought about it. She had really laughed a lot. "I have to say it was really nice," Olivia said. "It was different from what people do. Nowadays, people ask you out by sending a text message with lots of spelling mistakes. But your letter, the letter you wrote, was really nice to read. It was a change. The letter was refreshing." Julian said that he is not very good at being casual. He relaxed a bit. His work requires him to be precise and formal. Sometimes Julian forgets how to stop being formal when he is not working. Olivia said then, "Do not do it." She said, "Just be yourself." Olivia would rather know the Olivia's friend, the real person she is talking to, than some version of the person that they think Olivia wants to see. Olivia wants to know the person, not some made-up version of the person. The tension in Julian's shoulders eased. He said that is really of them to do that. It is remarkably kind. The meal started with a bunch of dishes, and each one was really good. As they were eating, it was easy for them to talk. Olivia told him about how crazy it's to plan events, like when things go wrong at the last minute, and then somehow everything works out okay. The meal started with these dishes, and Olivia was happy to share her stories about event planning with him. He was really listening to what Olivia had to say about the chaos of event planning. He asked her some good questions. About it, he said to me, "You do well when things are crazy and out of control. I would be scared in a situation like that. It would be very frightening to me." Olivia said this to him. "You do well when things are in order," she said. "I would feel trapped by that. We are very different. The digital marketing team and I are not alike, but I mean digital marketing is not even involved here. I am talking about you and me. We are opposites. You and digital marketing are not my point. My point is you and I, we are complete opposites. Perhaps that's not a bad thing." Julian told her about his childhood in Boston. He was the child of a single mother. His mother cleaned houses so she could pay for his education. Julian had to work hard to get through law school. He had 3 jobs at the time. Julian wanted to be a judge because he wanted to make the world a fairer place. He did not have order or fairness when he was growing up in Boston. Becoming a judge was a way for Julian to create the order and fairness that he never had. Julian thought that being a judge would be a way to make a difference. "My mother passed away 2 years ago," he said in a voice. "It was cancer that took her from me. She never got to see the day I became a judge in the court. That happened 3 months after we buried her." Olivia reached across the table, put her hand on top of Julian's hand. She said, "I am really sorry, Julian." "Your mom would have been very proud of you, Julian." He turned his hand over, gently squeezed her hand. He said, "Thank you." He thought that she would have liked her. The woman he was talking about always said that he was too serious. She always said that he needed someone to make him laugh. He was talking about the woman he loved. He thought that she would have liked her a lot. "Your letter was really funny. It made me laugh." I have to say it was a funny letter, Julian. It was a real smile that changed the way his whole face looked. He said, "I heard you, I really did. It was, in my office, the day after I sent that thing. You have a laugh that's very easy to recognize. It is so loud that it can be heard through walls, which is pretty funny." Olivia felt the heat rush to her cheeks. She said, "You heard that?" "Every word, including your friend Cassidy's commentary about my cologne commercial appearance." Oh God, Olivia felt like she wanted to hide under the table now. "I am so sorry. It was really great. The best part of my day was when you laughed at my letter and you also said yes to having dinner with me. This made me feel happy because I thought that maybe you saw something in me, something worth getting to know better, even though my letter was very formal. Hearing you laugh about my letter and agreeing to have dinner with me gave me hope. That you saw something worth exploring beneath all the formal stuff. When the dessert arrived, it was a pretty thing made of chocolate and gold leaf. The lights in the restaurant started to flicker. Then they just stopped working. The emergency lights turned on. Everything was bathed in a dim light. The dessert, which was made of chocolate and gold leaf, still looked nice in this dim light. The man in charge of the restaurant said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem with the power. It is not working now. Please stay in your seats while the restaurant staff figures out what is going on with the power." People around them were talking quietly. They looked really confused. But Julian did not wait. He got up, held out his hand to Olivia. "Come with me."
Ow!
He took her through the restaurant. It was not very bright inside, to a balcony that she had not seen before. The city was still outside. It was full of light. The power was out, but on their street, the rest of the city was fine. The power outage was just on their block. The restaurant was the only place that was dark. The city was still full of light. The city was still going. The power outage did not affect the whole city. Just their restaurant. The city was beautiful. The city was still shining. The restaurant was dark, but the city was not. "I was really scared of things I had no control over," Julian said, leaning against the railing beside her. "I did not like it when things were crazy. I did not know what was going to happen. I like to have a plan. I did not like it when things did not go as planned. Now, I am standing here with the power out, and things are not going as planned, and I am standing here with you. I feel okay. The power outage is really unexpected." "I am not scared," Julian said, "and that is a big surprise to me." Olivia turned around to face the man. She said, "Why not? You are here. That makes me feel better. It is a feeling. Even when things are not going well, you being here makes everything feel right. You being here makes me feel like things will be okay." He put his hand on Olivia's face really soft. His thumb touched Olivia's cheek. He said, "May I kiss you, Olivia?" "Yes," she said quietly. "Please do it." The kiss was soft at first. It was like they were scared of hurting something special. Then Julian kissed Olivia harder. Everything changed. Olivia felt like the whole world was spinning around her. Being in Julian's arms felt perfect. The city was all bright and noisy around them. Inside Olivia, everything was crazy and mixed up. It felt really good to be with Julian like that. When Julian and the girl finally pulled apart, they were both breathing hard. Julian rested his forehead against the girl's forehead. This was a special moment for Julian and the girl. Julian was very close to the girl now, with his forehead touching hers. The girl and Julian just stood there for a moment, catching their breath. Julian and the girl were very tired from what they were doing, so they just rested like that for a bit. He said, "This is all happening fast." He needed her to understand something. She had changed him in some way. She had made him want things that he had stopped hoping for a time ago. The things that he wanted now were because of her. She had changed something in him. Now he wanted those things. Like what? I want a life that's like this. I want people to be like us. I want a future that's like a future where I do not just go to work and follow a routine every day, but I am actually living my life and doing things that make me happy. The lights. Inside the place started working, and the other people who were eating there began to clap. But the two people just sat there. They did not get up, do anything. The lights were on again. People were applauding, but these two people were completely still. Olivia said, "I want that too." She was talking about the judge and the chaotic event planner. This is a strange combination. The formal judge and the chaotic event planner should not really go together. For some reason, Olivia thought that the formal judge and the chaotic event planner would work well together. Julian said this. He really meant it. "It will," he said. He was totally sure about this. "Because I am not letting you go, Julian," said Olivia, and Julian went back to their table holding hands. When they finally got dessert, Olivia saw Julian looking at her. He had a look on his face that made her heart beat really fast. Julian was still a formal guy. That was just who he was. Now Olivia could see that there was something more to him, something warm underneath all that formality. She could see the Julian, the man who had been waiting for someone to get past the walls he had put up. Olivia thought about Julian, how he was starting to open up to her, and that made her feel happy. Julian was really starting to show her who he really was, and Olivia liked that about him. The evening was over. They were standing outside the restaurant. Julian pulled her close to him. He wanted to be near her. Julian was holding her tight. The restaurant was behind them. "I would really like to have dinner with you." "Then I want to have dinner with you again after that." "I'm very interested in getting to know everything about you, Olivia. I want to be for all the crazy things that happen, and for all the good things that happen too. I want to be the one who makes you laugh when you need it, and I want to be the one you can turn to when things are not going well, so I can hold you and make you feel better. I want to be a part of everything that happens in your life, Olivia." Olivia kissed him softly. She said, "Then you will have the money. All of the money. Starting now." As they drove through the Chicago night, they were still holding hands. This was the beginning for them. The formal invitation was supposed to be about dinner. It turned out to be so much more than that. It brought them together to this love that they share. This love brings them closer, even though they are different. It makes them better people, stronger and more complete, the love that they have. For each other, this love, it is what makes them whole. 3 years later, Julian would propose with another handwritten letter, just as formal and just as perfect. And Olivia would laugh through happy tears before saying yes, knowing that sometimes the most beautiful love stories begin with the most unexpected invitations. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit like, share this story with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more meaningful stories.